All right, dude, Ricky Glore, man, dude,
Hey,
sweet meats. I love the movie. It's awesome. Two thumbs up,
hell yeah.
10 stars, A plus.
I love that we just met today and we're already hopping on a Zoom. And I just sent you the link to the movie today. I love nothing more than fast acting, like spontaneity, because we were going to do this, Wednesday? And I was like, man, if you're free right now, it's fresh in your mind. Let's talk right now.
Yeah, man, dude, and you got a Scream 2 poster, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, my basement here, I have a wall of twos. I have Phantasm 2, Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2 video release poster because I like it better than the theatrical one because there's flames inside of the locker room, the locker. Scream 2, Halloween 2, Psycho 2.
Oh, dude, right on. When people ask my favorite horror movie, I always say Phantasm.
Hell yeah. It's my
Because
top five.
dude, and the dude, like, he wasn't doing so good, man.
Reggie, yeah, Reggie's not doing great right now.
Yeah,
He's had a big bucket of wind though, to quote Kevin Smith, for his life. So he is luckily has gotten to meet and be appreciated by a ton of fans. And I can say the few times that I've been near him or around him at conventions and stuff, he is a delight. He is such a good dude. And the Reggie that, I mean, if you like Reggie in the movies, he's not the creepy, pervy dude who's like hitting on you and killing dwarves, but he's a really, really nice guy. Like the core, the loyalty of like who Reggie is in those movies, he's that
sure.
dude in real life.
Oh man, creepy pervy dude. I always thought he was a bait magnet or something.
Oh, my bad.
Maybe I'll have to watch it. Maybe
Oh,
I'll
he's
watch it
always
again.
looking like so. The second movie, it's not presumably. I guess it is. They're going. He gets Mike out of James LaGrosse's Mike out of the nut house, and he's bringing him home to his house, which he now is married and has a daughter, I believe. And then the tall man blows up his house. And then what does he do? Like first thing, he's just like, I gotta fuck anything I can find.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
I mean, everybody deals with grief in their own ways. I guess that's how Reggie. He's also an ice cream man, so like maybe it's a little. Maybe I'm putting a little bit upon it of just being like just the bald Vietnam vet with a ponytail, being an ice cream man, being like, "Hey kid, you want some ice cream?"
I don't know, man. He was like my hero, man. I thought he was like a ladies' man. You know, he
Hey,
had the cool car.
well, ladies, man, like gosh, I can't think of the Samantha something. Anyway, who's in the second one who he ends up boning. She is really the only one. It's a running joke that Reggie doesn't get laid. Like as horny as he is, then even in the second movie or third movie with Rocky, he has a dream where he's getting laid and having sex with her, and then Michael's brother pops in, Jody, and interrupts his sex dream. And then in the fourth movie, the girl he picks up, he tries sleeping with in the abandoned motel. She's like, "Hey man, it isn't gonna happen. I love your crazy stories and stuff, but you're a wacko." And then he wakes up to her having the orbs right in her boobs. I'm a big Phantasm fan. We could Elm Street Phantasm. We could go down a rabbit hole of
Oh
talking about
man,
those.
dang! I never even realized that, man. I guess I always like thought that, like, I guess like you're right, man. You're absolutely right. He
So
never.
if Ash is the Kmart baddie, like bad guy, like badass, Reggie is like the hardware store, like section in Kmart.
And then and then Tom Adkins, you know, he's
Oh
like
hell
in
yeah.
there somewhere in there too.
Tom Atkins is like the boss at the grocery store. He's
Yeah,
that like level of cool.
yeah. Oh, but dude, yeah, sweet meats, man. No, the movie was rad, dude. Dude, and you get the sideburns thing, man. You don't have.
Sideburns. Oh yeah, yeah. In the movie, I was gonna say I'm rocking them back right now, with the mustache and the burns. But yeah, the big old mutton chops. That was fun for my family for a couple of months of going through all the different looks of Bobby Sweet. First looking like in the movie says a Vietnam vet with a big old homeless man beard. That's what my wife joked. Each time that we've done a movie, all your friends are dead in this one that I've been in. I make myself look the absolute worst. And she's like, could you write, if you were gonna be in more movies, could you write a character where you're like looking good and like clean cut? and don't look like Sasquatch.
I mean, you looked like a badass. I mean, you had like this. I mean, it looked pretty cool, man. But
Oh,
dude,
don't get me wrong. I would love to be a Reggie like character in a horror movie. Rocking a 4 barrel shotgun. Hell yeah.
oh, dude, whose Trans Am was that?
That is my dad's Trans Am. My dad has been a huge Smokey and the Bandit fan forever. That's why there's so many little nods to that film within Sweetmeats and kind of why it's set in the era that it is. He has had numerous Trans Ams over his lifetime and he calls it a heterosexual love of Burt Reynolds. I think it verges a little gay, but he bought that without my mom knowing and surprised her with it. And it was not a surprise she was happy about this latest Trans Am.
Oh man, but dude, the Trans Am is so rad, man. The
Yeah,
trans.
it's a bitch to drive, though, I'll tell you that. First time we used it in anything was we had this script called Roadkill that uh, was basically what a Smokey and the Bandit were a horror movie, and so we made a proof of concept short where I did the stunt driving, which is I just did the driving for the actor that was playing the bandit like character, and we actually filmed that at Bobby Mackey's as well. It's on our NKY Films YouTube page, but I was supposed to like gun out over the gravel road and then like pull onto the highway and Trans Ams are boats. Those things are just pure metal and just heavy in the front, no weight on the back. So you just skid and shake and like that is not like if you were needing like a good getaway car, the Hemi Cuda probably drives similar for from Phantasm, but those cars are dangerous. Like I think you have to have a little bit of a death wish to drive those like a badass.
Oh, dude, and that was, and I like read on like the IMDb that the movie takes place in 1975, and I
Roughly
like
78. We cut out it pinpointing originally in the vocal
yeah.
narration, which with no budget, low budget movies, you don't cut a lot, you don't shoot a lot of extra stuff. But that is one of the things we did because of the anachronisms that appear because we didn't have the budget to make it legit look like it was 78. So we originally had a joke in that opening narration that kind of poked fun at it. And then Nick Hines, my filmmaking partner, while we were editing, he's like, you know what? I don't want to make that joke. And I was like, yeah, but we should make it before someone else dings us on it. And he's like, well, we don't have to mention the year at all. He's like, can't we just get rid of the year? This is a storybook. Like, this is like a VH1 behind the music or like lifetime movie version of what really happened with Bobby Sweet. It's an exaggerated, it's a golden leaf kids book of Bobby Sweet. He's like, this could be like Star Wars, like in a galaxy a long time ago. So it's like kind of the late
Well,
70s, but
well, like, cause like I read that and I'm like, what? And then I thought about it. I'm like, oh wait, no, cause you got like the old TV, but
hmm
I have the old TV. Like I have like the same TV that I
yeah, the little
use.
box. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh wait, no, you got the Trans Am. And I'm like, nobody's on a cell phone.
He's got the sideburns.
And I'm like, dude, it is the set. Like, whoa. Like I was like, yeah, it is, man. I guess I didn't
We were
realize
lucky.
that.
Nick's restaurant in Harrison, Ohio, where we filmed, that was Sweetmeats, the restaurant, is a fully operational restaurant, Greek diner that exists. And it was perfect because we did, again, with no budget, low budget, we had very little money. And so we didn't have to set decorate that place at all. It looked like it was untouched by the 70s.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like, wait, it was the 70s. That makes so much because nobody's on a phone, man. Nobody's like, and you got the old TV, dude. Yeah, I guess it is. I guess I didn't like put. I never thought, like, I don't know. I watched the whole movie, and I guess I never realized, like, no, there was like no like modern technology and nothing modern in the movie, man.
Well, there is I tried to cover it up, which became the bane of the existence of Nick Hines when we were first editing. Um, is there is a credit card reader that is sitting on the counter that I kept on trying to put a yellow mustard squirt bottle in front of to cover up the blue light. And there's a couple of shots where you can see it. And there's a couple small other things. We had to blur out during the song number, a friend, when Jerry and Bobby are playing out by the dumpster. The dumpster is Rumpke, which is a Cincinnati local Northern Kentucky trash company. And on the dumpster, it says visit www.rumkey.com, as if people are visiting like garbage website, like going to a website, and be like, oh, let me check out that website. So we had to blur that. So there's a few things. There's a newer Heinz squeeze ketchup bottle and there's a couple little things, but I love that you just watched it and enjoyed the movie so much that those little things didn't stick out, or the movie didn't suck or make you bored enough to be like, "Oh, I'm noticing these things because I think this movie kind of blows."
Yeah, I didn't really notice. I mean, dude, I'm not very like a critical. I don't really notice things like that, man. I don't notice things like that until people tell me. So,
Hey, that bodes well for us. Makes me happy.
I mean, I noticed all the '70s stuff. So there you go. But dude, no, and then the music, man. The music is rad, man. I love the music.
Thank you so much, Nick Vitus, who owns Nick's restaurant that we used. David Kornfeld is an arranger and a songwriter that I had worked with while in Chicago. So him and I came up with the songs, arranged them, made the backing tracks. But before we made the final backing tracks, it was just kismet that Nick Vitus of Nick's Restaurant also is a kind of a musical virtuoso, plays guitar, plays bass, plays a bunch of instruments, plays in a band. And he was like, if you want, he's like, I can add some additional guitar, some bass and stuff on these tracks to really fill them out. And it just, we kind of lucked into, but again, that's what the indie no budget is. You kind of fall into these favors. So I said the film cost $22,000. If it cost that much, then we probably had like another $5,000 worth of favors that we didn't technically have to pay out because people like Nick just lending their talents to this kind of a ragtag film.
Oh, dude, I just realized another '70s thing. He's the dude in the band, like he's wearing a CBGB's shirt.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. So Nick Vitus, you get to see him. He is not the CBGB's wearing guy. He is the bass player who's wearing I think the black button down, maybe stripe, who's bald and got glasses during the musical performances. So that whole band though, they're not on the soundtrack. Joe, who's playing guitar, maybe I can't remember, but they all play together. They are all killers. When we met to film those spots, uh, we played them back the playback tracks that we're gonna sing to, that we sync up with later, and they are so good. They figured out the arrangements and were able to actually play along with the songs just by hearing them like twice.
You got a favorite song?
Favorite song in the movie? You tell me yours, and then I'll think of what mine is.
Oh man, I gotta say the grind.
So I was gonna say the grind just because of what it represents of just the double meanings throughout the song, or the multiple meanings of the grind of like being a young artist, being a young musician, and then literally just grinding up body parts.
Yeah.
But I have a fondness for, gosh, I mean, I really love all of them. Catching You, which the original version that appears when the dude's getting his guts ripped out at the beginning, that's done and arranged by Wonky Tonk, which is a fantastic artist that you can find on Apple Music. All of her stuff's a great listen. She recorded that for when we did the proof of concept for Roadkill. And then so for the movie, we do the Bobby Sweet version. So I thought it'd be fun to be like, okay, Bobby Sweet's like a Johnny Cash or Bob Dylan or Willie Nelson, that he's gotten so big that newer artists are doing covers of his songs. Um, so I like that one for that reason. I'm a big fan of that late 70s, early 80s country rock, like Crystal Gale, Jerry Reed, Don Williams, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton. Yeah, the grind. The Devil is a Woman is a lot of fun just because of getting to then have Eileen in that track. And then thinking of like in the world of Bobby Sweet, of whatever their lives ended up being, like a hypothetical sequel or something that they did was maybe like a Late Night with the Devil kind of movie where they're doing like a telethon or like a variety show, like a live taping or something, and then people are getting killed off stage. But I thought it'd be fun to do like a Sonny and Cher variety hour, but it's Bobby and Laddie, where they do covers of these other bands or different like you know how they would do like weird country interpretations of like the Beatles or something, or like cool songs.
Yeah, oh man. Oh dude, and she has kind of like that like a Dolly Parton makeup with like the hair and stuff.
100%. A little mix up between Tammy Faye Baker because they are a bit evangelist, Dolly Parton, Eat the People that we co-did with the metal band Demon Scar. I fucking love that one too. I mean, gosh, Diddle My Fiddle. Dustin Matthew Taylor, who's again, it's about just these coincidences when we were already in the middle of making the movie. And Timmy, who plays Jerry, is from Owensboro, Kentucky, but I met him while doing stuff in Chicago. He's fucking hilarious. He knew Dustin, who is a guitarist and singer songwriter, country music artist in Owensboro as well. And so I started talking with him, and I was like, "Yeah, I got these couple of songs that I don't want Bobby to sing them, and I don't necessarily have someone in mind that I would want to have a different sound, but still country and folksy for the opening, the Legend of Bobby Sweet song, or Diddle My Fiddle, which came up only because when we started rehearsing, he's like, I have an idea that Jerry has this banana that he's trying to open the whole movie. And so I'm always open to collaborate and incorporate stuff if it works and doesn't take, too much attention or whatever. But the way he sold it and he told me the story of this banana, I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And then Eileen, who plays Laddie, at the end, when that ending happens, which I won't spoil it, she's like, what if I do this with the banana? I was like, oh, the banana's got its own fucking story arc. I was like, I love this.
Dude.
So
eh,
I wrote Diddle My Fiddle because I was like, oh, what if there's a music video at the end that just showcases Jerry and the banana, and Dustin can do The Legend of Bobby Sweet at the beginning. He can do Diddle My Fiddle and be, even though Timmy has a great singing voice, it's his voice on the song A Friend. But I was like, have Dustin sing that at the end, and it's kind of like a Jerry Reed, almost like a country Walk This Way. The arrangement's pretty much like Aerosmith's Walk This Way. Um, but then I had another one. My friend and I just went and saw Counting Crows, and I was like, you know what? I want to try to write a Counting Crows song. And then I wrote the song that appears at the end of the credits, The Sweetest Meat. That was my version of doing like a country Counting Crows song, which Dustin also sang.
All right. Yeah, dude. No, the music's great, man. And speaking of the music, man, there's like one line in the movie, man, that I don't, unless like you play in a band or you play music that you nobody probably would think is funny, but I thought was hilarious. Was like when he's like, "Oh yeah, you sold like 5 records," and he's like, "5 records," because I'm like, 5 records. That's pretty good if you play in a show.
So the character, so I did not want to star in our first movie, All Your Friends Are Dead, and I didn't want to star in this movie, but out of necessity of budget, we kind of have to have a certain amount of people that we know where we're going to be saving money on. And so All Your Friends Are Dead was semi-autobiographical of my life. And Sweetmeats, because again, we did not have the budget for me to necessarily be behind the camera, even though that's what I want to do. If I have to criticize anything about Sweetmeats, it is my directing because I was in most of the scenes. Now, by design of knowing that, I gave a ton of dialogue. Like Eileen, who plays Laddie, does a ton of heavy lifting. I mean, she has 2 scenes alone where she talks a lot. She gets out a lot of information. But luckily, Eileen is a really funny and good actress. She pulls it off pretty well. But so Bobby Sweet is kind of another version of me. Like I've never had stage fright, but that idea, like you have to be a little delusional to be creative, right? Because you need that confidence some way of what you're doing is right or what you're creating is good. And so I still am. I mean, if I do a stand-up show or something, or I mean, Indiegogo, where we sold the exclusive Blu-ray for Sweetmates, or say when Troma is going to eventually, probably in a year, put out a much nicer version of the Blu-ray for Sweetmates with a bunch more special features. If someone tells me that we sell 5 copies of that, you bet your bippy I'm going to be ecstatic because it blows my mind that a stranger would buy something that I've created.
Yeah, like, dude, I just thought that because, I mean, you do stand. I mean, you do stand up and stuff. I mean, you sell
Hmm.
like a couple things. I mean, dude. I mean, on a playing a band or something, you sell a couple CDs. I was like 5 CDs. That's actually like really good, man. You
Doesn't
know?
isn't it weird to think that like those people that like people move, people change, their lives and blah blah blah. And you know how hard it is to throw away things or to downsize like a collection or something. If you're in a band or you've created anything and you sell something, that means there is a person's house somewhere, who knows where, that has something that you made. That blows my mind.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, that's true, man. That
It's
makes
like
sense.
almost like it's not your DNA, but it's pretty fucking close to being like your DNA that I mean, this is gonna sound dirtier than I mean it, like just spreading like across like what like just this. The fact that you watched something that I created and you seem to have dug it, even if you didn't like it, you just watching it blows my mind. Like it's huge. I feel like everybody has their own definitions of success. To me, already have made it.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, I love the movie. Oh man, and then you got you got the premiere coming up
Yeah, yeah, that's in Cincinnati in March 22nd.
March
So
22nd.
yeah, a couple weeks from now, Lloyd's gonna be there. It's kicking off Hands Across Tromerica, which is a trauma festival that is going across to a bunch of different indie art house movie theaters across the United States. Where I will be appearing at a few of them with Sweetmeats. Lloyd will be appearing at a few of them, and some of them are showing 6 newer trauma movies. I know the Inglewood, Ohio one, which is kind of near Dayton, Ohio. They're showing part of their 6. They're going to show the original Toxic Avenger, and they're going to end the night with Cannibal the Musical. And Lloyd's going to be at that one as well as myself. And that's
Okay.
April 26th.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, because I live in Michigan, so that's like 5 hour drive. But the one in April, that's like a 4 hour drive.
Oh
But
man, you should come.
but there's one on May 17th
Ooh.
in Ohio, and that's my birthday,
Oh.
and that's in
Where's that one at?
Ohio. That is the Gateway Film Center.
I unfortunately will not be at that one because I do have a booking in Pennsylvania that night for stand up. But if you can go to that one, go to it because I think that one is going to be packed
I
from
don't know.
what I've heard.
Maybe I might even go to two. I mean, the May 17th one. I mean, that's like on my birthday, so I might go to that one. But maybe I might. I mean, I would like to go to the one in March. It's definitely going to be an overnight trip, man. But
If you can go to the April one in Inglewood, like I said, Lloyd's going to be there as well. I'll be there. And when do you get the chance to see the OG Toxic Avenger? When do you get the chance to see Matt and Trey's South Park's first movie, Cannibal the Musical? And probably I'm going to ask Liam Regan of Refuse Film, who did Eating Miss Campbell and My Bloody Banjo. He just did the 4K restoration. Uh, I'll check and see if that's because people might like to know that if the one they're showing on April 26th in Inglewood, if it's the 4K or if it's the other version. I'm not sure.
dude, I mean, I'm not really a quality dude. I watch like VHS tapes and stuff. So I don't know.
I mean I get it. One of my biggest complaints is I wish that any of these new versions like Blue, any of the uber clean ones, I'm like, man, you know what? I want the VHS version of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 that had the different music, the tracking issues, and the Dokken music video at the end. Like I wish that was an option on Blu-rays that you could watch like a VHS transfer.
Oh yeah, cause yeah. I mean that's yeah. I mean I got there's like and dude like VHS tapes. There's so many movies on VHS tapes that aren't even on DVDs
Hmm.
or Blu-rays, but there's kind of starting to. I guess they're starting to put stuff out. So
It's
like
crazy, like it's wild, like how many movies haven't had a physical release, and I know it's all probably rights, whatever issues. Um, to mention Burt Reynolds, there's a movie called WW and the Dixie Dance Kings, which has a great soundtrack, great cast. Jerry Reed, Don Williams is in it, Ned Beatty's in it, Connie Van Dyke, or no, Connie Stevenson, Connie Stevenson, but Art Carney. It has never had a physical, not a VHS, not a beta, not a laser disc, nothing, nada. And the only way you would have it is if like I think occasionally like AMC shows it or like Cinemax showed it back in the day. So I think a bootleg is the only way you can get it. It blows my mind like of all the stuff that's out there. A Burt Reynolds movie of that magnitude is not out there.
yeah, and like Godzilla 1985, like all
Yeah.
dude, and you could get like a blanket with the poster. You can buy the poster. You can get a coffee mug, but you can't get the actual movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody has to get the rights to that sometime and put that out, man.
I
But
can't yeah.
are you a big so you're a big Burt Reynolds fan?
I don't like I'm a bigger fan of the cultural impact or the things that he touched. Um, the history of Burt and I know all of his movies because I've grown up with him. I mean I've grown up in the shadow of Burt. Um, but like Smokey and the Bandit 1 and 2 soundtrack, talk about the musical influences. Those two soundtracks, um, Clint Eastwood's Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can soundtracks. Those are just touchstones of like growing up and doing road trips as a kid.
Well, I was gonna ask, have you ever seen a Burt Reynolds movie called Frankenstein and Me?
No, was it a kids movie?
Yeah, yeah, Ryan. It was Ryan Gosling's first movie.
Really?
Yeah, it came out in
I
the '90s.
I would be surprised if my dad doesn't have the summer. I went and saw Cop and a Half in the theaters,
Oh,
which was directed by Henry Winkler, the Fonz, and there's some great stories about how the Fonz and Burt Reynolds got in a fist fight while filming that movie.
oh, dude, I wonder who. I mean, I think Burt Reynolds. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, Frankenstein and me. Oh yeah, this is good, Burt. This is Burt with that awful looking rug on his head.
Hmm. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh, I'm gonna have to keep that pulled up. I gotta watch that.
um, I think it's on YouTube, and I think it's like one of those movies that unless you have the VHS tape, it's that's the only way you can watch it. But somebody put it up on YouTube. Um, but like, did I like used to watch it a lot as a wow? I guess maybe not that much, but I watched it as a kid and really liked it. And it was one of those movies when you watch it as a kid and you watch it now, it's like a completely different movie.
Yeah, you get all the yeah.
It, like when I was a kid, I thought it because there's like scenes of like the kids and like they're acting out Universal monster scenes.
Hmm.
So I thought it was kind of like that's all the movie was about, but in reality, it's like a movie about like the kids dealing with their dad dying or something. So it's like a drama, I guess, but with some Universal monster references thrown in.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna be the boomer that says like, I wish kids' movies were harder like they used to be back in the 80s. But one of my all-time favorite horror movies is Return to Oz because I think that movie is terrifying. I think the movie is still terrifying. The Wheelers who are the substitute flying monkeys, the woman who has the removable heads, all of the stop motion, I mean, the movie starts off with them taking Dorothy to get electroshock therapy.
Yeah, I mean, like Return to Oz, man. I mean, they should do like a Oz horror movie. I'm surprised they haven't done that. That's like public domain, isn't it?
Man, I don't know of what a Frank L. Baum and I don't know based on, now with everything with Wicked, I'm not sure because those companies that can make big money off of that, they always find some loophole. Like I'm surprised with Steamboat Willie and Popeye that like they didn't in Winnie the Pooh that they didn't find a loophole to put the kibosh and all that.
Actually, you know what? I think the book is like public domain because Sam Raimi did the Oz movie.
Oz the Great and Powerful, which I'm fond of. I liked it.
Bruce Campbell was in it, so it's
Hell
awesome.
yeah. Bruce, yeah.
But like I think like they could only use like the books, like they couldn't use anything from the movie, I
Yeah, you
guess.
can't do ruby red slippers. It's gotta be silver.
And I remember like Todd McFarlane did like a figure line for Oz, like he did his own Oz figure line, and it was like really like twisted and stuff, and he wrote like a story. But yeah, they should do like an Oz horror movie, man.
There's a decent now. I haven't seen this in a long time, and I think it was like early 2000s, maybe like 2006. I can't think of what the name is, but it's a mini series that Sci-Fi Channel did. I think it was before they were sci with Zoe Deschanel as Dorothy and Alan Cummings, I think, as Scarecrow.
You
And
know,
then I can't think of what that one is called though, but I remember it not being bad. Most Oz stuff isn't. It's most Oz stuff's pretty enjoyable because there is some body horror elements with Oz, and depending how you wanna handle it, that if it's a fever dream, if someone's got, some mental disorder, does it actually happen? Is it not? Is it representative of there's so many different things, avenues that you can take. Another favorite kids movie of mine that also used to weirdly show on Thanksgiving with the original Wizard of Oz that I think is a horror movie is Nothing But Trouble, the Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Demi Moore, John Candy movie. That movie is and Tupac. That movie is also terrifying.
oh, dude, I think on Wednesday I'm interviewing Michael, the drummer from Damn Yankees, right? And they have a song called Bone Stripper because like when they show the Bone
Yeah,
Stripper.
yeah.
So I gotta ask
Hell
about
yeah.
Bone Stripper and Nothing But Trouble. So yeah, because I love Nothing But Trouble, man. That movie's great, man. They used to show
That's
that on Thanksgiving.
so I think based on the not public domain, but because it flopped so hard that I think it was cheap to get. And like I remember HBO or Showtime, one of those used to also. We didn't have that where I lived. We just had basic cable, but they used to show that on because even the DVD, the Snapcase, I think is released with the like HBO logo. Or I would have to go look at my physical media collection because I ain't never getting rid of that. Um, but they used to show that and like It's a Wonderful Life and Wizard of Oz a lot. And I don't know if Wizard of Oz was cheap enough, if like that had lost its copyright for television play, or they bought it whenever they first showed it on TV, they just had like in perpetuity. But they used to show Wizard of Oz, Nothing But Trouble, and It's a Wonderful Life. And It's a Wonderful Life was because it had lost its copyright and was a cheap movie to show for the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, I was never a big It's a Wonderful Life fan, but I like the Beavis and Butthead version.
No, I mean It's a Wonderful Life is uh um oh my gosh, why am I blanking on Ebenezer Scrooge? It's Dickens. It's fuck. Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and my favorite version of the Christmas Carol is the Muppet one with Michael Caine. I think that one
yeah.
hits the hardest.
I think maybe I might like the Beavis and Butthead one. Ever when you know who I'm talking about? If you're
Yeah, yeah.
watching the TV Ebenezer Screw.
I think Mike Judge is low key. I mean, I know he's very famous and has done very well, but we were talking about this the other day that it's sad to me that he hasn't done more films because I think Office Space, Idiocracy, and Extract isn't one that many people remember, but he is really and Beavis and Butthead Do America. Those are really the only four films that he's done. And if you watch those, they still hold up to this day. The comedy in them, which you don't find a lot, is kind of timeless, doesn't really date itself.
Well, I know he like when he started doing like he was like he was in the animation, so maybe he just likes animation more. Maybe that's like really more
Oh,
his thing.
yeah, and I think it's easier for him to do King of the Hill, obviously his baby, and he started on Saturday Night Live with black and white animation of Milton, which ends up in Office Space.
Yeah, Mike Judge is rad. I like him,
I
man.
think he's one of them that whenever anybody's talking about influences, it's not somebody that like first comes to mind, but who definitely is because all of his things, even as crude or as funny as they are, have a wealth of heart. Because even like Beavis and Butthead, they are best friends. Like they are, classic duo of like a Jay and Silent Bob or a Bill and Ted or a Cheech and Chong or go back even farther of like a Laurel and Hardy or a Hope and Crosby or Martin and Lewis. I guess you could go like Rosencrantz and Guild. You could go even farther back of classic duos. C3PO, R2D2.
Yeah, I mean, and he did do like the most recent Beavis and Butthead season. So I mean, he's still doing stuff.
And King of the Hill's coming back.
Yeah, I mean that's what I hear, man. I hear it, but I'm hoping I get to see it sometime. You know, yeah, but Sweet Meats, man,
Sweet
the movie.
Meats.
Yeah, dude. Oh man.
I will geek and nerd about anything that has ever influenced or I think is cool and other people should take a look at. But yeah, I'm hoping so we haven't had we haven't had a really a live screening yet. So the premiere is going to be the first time and my only not concern but with trauma fans is I hope they don't feel bait and switched thinking it was going to be this like hardcore like cannibal movie and then they see it and it's a reviewer compared it to which I would never say this myself but I'll take the review was that it felt like a Christopher Guest movie was made by John Waters. And so I was like, all right, I like that because that lets everybody know that the comedy is definitely more forward. So I really hope and pray that at the premiere, which it should, with a packed house, that all the funny stuff plays and maybe some stuff that, like you said, like I sold 5 copies. Some things will get bigger, like get some bigger laughs that we weren't necessarily expecting. But I hope the trauma audience digs it, even though there's not a ton of blood, there's no tits, and there's only one giant turd.
Oh man, John Waters, dude. I mean, yeah, dude, I see it, man. I see the John Waters. I could dig that. Sort like the '70s John Waters stuff. I could definitely
Hmm.
compare it to that, man. Like,
Yeah, some Pink Flamingo, or even if you saw, I think it's '90s Pecker, or even, gosh, I guess with the musical stuff, you go even in more into Hairspray.
or like, oh man, it was yeah, man. But some of that definitely, yeah, I could see like the Pink Flamingos, kind of the
Lust in
that
the
kind of.
Dust.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
like some John Waters type humor. I mean, I loved it, so I mean, how could you not? Like, what's not to love, man? I thought it was great, man.
That's who's your favorite character in the movie? And you don't have to say Bobby.
Um, either Bobby, I mean the pizza guy, whatever, you know.
So Kim is a fellow stand-up that him and I have been performing together basically ever since I started doing stand-up. And he's also Not Your Friends Are Dead and he plays the cop at the end. And so for Sweetmeats, I was like, all right, you don't have to play serious, like you don't have to be this grounded character like you were. I mean, he was goofy and All Your Friends Are Dead, but I was like, I'm gonna have you play this pizza guy. And he's just like, oh, he's like, are you sure? I was like, Kim, your name is Kim in the script. We never call you Kim. I was like, I wrote this for you. He's like, you think I might be able to pull this off? I was like, 100%. And he's like, well, I don't want to come off gay. I'm like, don't worry. You are not coming off offensively gay. You are coming off offensively as someone who loves pizza and probably has sex with pizza. I don't think you want to have sex with Bobby. I think when you eventually get your pizza, you're going to be in a back alley with like a New York slice like folded around your wiener, just like going to town on it.
I mean, because I love pizza, so I'm like laughing, and it just goes on and on, and I'm just laughing.
I told that's another scene. I can't wait to for people in the any of the live screenings that I'm at. Like I want to watch. I'm gonna watch the audience watch that more than watch the movie at that point. Because I told Kim I was like, people, you are either gonna be people's favorite part of the movie or least favorite part of the movie. You're gonna be the Martin Short of the movie. There's gonna be no gray area when it comes to what people's opinions are. They're gonna be like, this is going on way too long. Or it's gonna do that like Family Guy thing where it stops being funny and then it like swings back because
Well,
no one believes that it's like still going on.
people don't like Martin Short.
Some people, I think his public perception has gotten better in the last few years with being more tied to Steve Martin. But for a long time, talk about another movie that I think works as a horror movie but isn't a horror movie is Clifford. If you've ever seen that with Charles Grodin and Mary Steenburgen and Dabney Coleman,
Man,
where he
yeah,
plays a 10-year-old kid
yeah.
and he was like a 35-year-old man.
Yeah, no, I've seen it, but I thought everybody. I mean, I guess I didn't realize people didn't like Martin Short, man. I like Martin Short. I always thought he was funny, man.
I think it's just that like subjective comedy thing of some people get rubbed the wrong way from like a Jim Carrey or a Martin Short or I mean you could say like a Dane Cook, anybody in comedy where there is just such a oh, I mean, anybody with a big energy, there are just some people are just like, hey, man, you got to cool it. You're way too needy. And I think he fits in that category. I mean, I've been a Martin Short fan since SCTV and SNL. And like, I love all of his, I love that he goes weird. I mean, Ed Grimley is super fucking weird. And he has even weirder characters than that.
Oh, it did, yeah, the pizza guy, man, the pizza part. And I was gonna ask, where'd that pizza come from?
Where'd that pizza? That was so the pizza box was from a local pizza place called Newport Pizza Company right around the street from me. I called him up and I was like, "Hey, we're making this no budget movie and we need a pizza box. Could we have one?" And they're like, "Well, what size?" And I was like, "Could we have one of each size? Because I'm not sure which one will look better on film." And so I think the pizza was probably a frozen Kroger's pizza. If I
Oh,
had to, it was not a high echelon pizza. And the food that the two homeless men who are my half brothers in real life, that was like a Marie Callender frozen meatloaf or whatever that we didn't fully like heat up all the way. So like when my brothers are taking a bite, they're like, "Oh, this is like still has ice on it. This is disgusting."
and you don't even really see the meatloaf either.
No.
You don't even see it, man. All that effort for
Oh, and you don't see, that's the thing is, man, you don't even see, we talked about that of like, if we'd have had more time and more money, we would have gotten some B-roll of some gross looking food and stuff. But that would have been it when all was said and done, we were done with principal photography and we were doing some pickup shots like a month after filming we were talking about like doing some inserts, one of which would have been different 45 album covers of the singles that Bobby like the grind and catching you of and the end is near and stuff that Bobby is doing at the restaurant. And we were talking about filming those and doing cutaways. Well, I had already edited the movie, and so having watched it, we were like, you know what? We could show some B-roll of some gross looking food in these album covers, but that's going to take us time and money that we really don't have. And it doesn't, would it be cool to have in the movie and elevate it if we had the budget and the time? Sure. But is it needed? No. Like you don't, it's kind of like the boobs of the cheerleaders. Like seeing nudity, Nick and I, not like no judgment on anybody else, but like we were like, we don't, and they would have. I mean, one of the actresses is a dancer, is an exotic dancer. One of the actresses has an OnlyFans, and the other actress, who's the cheerleader, is an ex Playboy playmate. And so they were all comfortable with doing a nude scene. We were just like, but do we need it? Like in this movie, like, is it needed to see their boobs bare expressed it and get lopped off? And I was just like, no. And this was before, because we only got bought by Troma 2 weeks before we started filming. Even
oh,
that was a weird. We had gotten Lloyd to do the cameo, and he was just like, "Hey, can I see the whole script?" And I was like, "Yes, sure. You probably want to make sure this is not Nazi propaganda. Yes, here's the whole script." And then he was just like, "So you have you have any idea who you want to have distribute this or pick it up or executive produce? And I was just like, uh, Trauma? And he was just like, yeah, if you'd like to talk about it. He's like, we'd love to come on board. He's like, I really like what I see. And I was like, awesome. So even that just kind of happened out of nowhere and just put us on the path that we're on now. And uh, I couldn't be happier because I grew up watching those Troma release videotapes where Lloyd would do the introduction at the beginning, just like carnival barking these movies that you already either rented or bought. And he's at the beginning of it, he's like, oh, you're gonna like, thank you for watching this movie and what this movie is, and you're gonna see this, this, and this. I'm like, yeah, I bought it, I rented it, you already have my money.
Oh, dude, there's like one movie, and I wasn't really even like a fan of the Troma movie. I don't want to say what it is, but like I would watch
Say
like,
it, say it, say
well, it
it,
was.
shit on it.
I mean, it was
No, I'm
girls.
kidding.
It
Oh
was
yeah.
it was girls' school screamers.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was really, but the VHS had like the thing where he was like talking, and it had the Ramones.
It's
So
so good.
it's like Lord Coffin and the Ramones and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know, maybe I'll watch it again. I wasn't, I
I
not that
grew
it was
up
bad. It just I was
like I saw so many things at way too young of an age, but what I also saw sometimes that was just on TV. I grew up with USA Up All Night with Rhonda Shear and Gilbert Godfrey, where they would show a lot of different trauma movies and movies of those ilks, but they would cut out all that stuff. And so it was just like, huh, well, these are not very good movies, but the Rhonda Shear, Gilbert Godfrey interstitials were super entertaining because they would kind of make fun of the movie like an Elvira or a late night movie host. And then whenever I would watch the real version of those movies, like not the USA cut versions, I was like, oh, well, these are why people like these movies. Just like it's just a bunch of TNA and gore.
yeah. Well, do you have a favorite Troma movie?
Favorite trauma movie? Gosh, it is hard not to pick Toxic Avenger or, like I said, Cannibal the Musical. One of my favorites is not technically a Troma made produced, but produced by Lloyd and made by his brother, Mother's Day. I think Mother's Day, it's not technically a Troma movie, but it has been released by Troma and has been part of the catalog at some times. But I think Mother's Day has some really deranged, weird stuff in it and also plays on a satirical level that a lot of the Troma movies don't necessarily. And like Graduation Day, which was again released by Troma years later, but not really produced. If you go back and watch that, there's so many things from the 90s horror movies, like I Know What You Did Last Summer or Scream, that definitely have been cherry picked from movies like Graduation Day or Mother's Day.
What is Chris Jericho, the wrestler?
Hmm.
He's a big mother. He loves Mother's Day, the
Oh,
movie.
Eli Roth, I think that's his favorite old time movie.
Oh, dude, I feel bad for saying I didn't like Girls' School Scream. I mean, I don't know.
No, no, no. Don't feel cut it out of the thing if you want to, but
No,
don't.
like I
It's
mean, I don't
okay to
know.
not. It's okay to not like things. You're not saying that it sucks and no one should watch it. It is just you connected it to the thing of like Lloyd being at the beginning of those tapes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you got, I mean, look, let's call a spade a spade. Sometimes those trauma movies were awful, but they were that special kind of awful with people that you would never see in anything else. It's like watching why people watch amateur porn. You want to see people that you don't usually see in Hollywood movies, or you want to see the scotch tape of like how they do things. It's like going and seeing a local community theater production of like a big show, of like a big musical, but you're seeing this local theater do their version of like Phantom of the Opera. And it's like there's a charm to it. Some of those movies I remember watching growing up, the part with Lloyd at the beginning ended up being the best part of the movie.
Yeah, I think there was probably only like a couple. I can only think of two Trauma movies that I didn't like, and it was that one, and there was another one. But everything else I kind of like, man. I like all the Toxic Avengers, Sergeant Kabuki, man.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's
Class
one
of
of
Nukem High, Return to Class of Nukem High.
Time
Uh,
Bandits, Time Barbarians, not Time
Time
Bandits.
Barbarians, yeah.
Yeah, Time Bandits. That's some
Look, don't give them too much credit. They didn't do Time Bandits.
Time Barbarians. That was pretty
I'm
good with
sure Lloyd would love to have Time Bandits
Time
in the
Bandits.
filmography.
That's good too, but Time Barbarians.
But again,
Yeah,
just to talk about like association of having people watch or listen to your art or view your art, the fact that we will now be synonymous with that, which however Sweetmeats is received, however many people see it, who cares how many people like it, dislike it, whatever. Even if people dislike it, I hope they write stuff. I hope they write their criticisms because I'd love to hear it. But we will be forever on Wikipedia and on IMDb and part of the Troma filmography catalog of movies released by Troma. And that again to me is crazy. You go back 30 years to 9-year-old Ricky who's watching these Troma movies and just being like, one day you're going to make a movie for that spastic little man that opens up those VHSs.
yeah, man. I mean, I thought it was great. So, I mean, tell me about that Lloyd. Speaking of Lloyd, tell me about the cameo, man. How'd that?
The Lloyd cameo is literally just you should always reach out to somebody to see if they will do your movie, if they'll promote your movie or whatever. It doesn't cost you anything. And that was literally Twitter when we were trying to get the funds, raise the funds in Indiegogo. I just tweeted him and I just said, hey, we're making this movie. It's Rocky Horror Picture Show meets Motel Hell. Um, Meets Smokey and the Bandit. I mean, I had like five, like it's this meets this. It's Phantom of the Paradise meets, Highballin', which was a trucker old South Station movie with Jerry Reed and Henry Fonda. But I was like, it's all this. Would you do a cameo? And so I'd already in the script this Duckwoods vacuum cleaner commercial. I was like, it'd be easy, film it in front of a green screen. And he was just like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, would you make a video telling people that they should support the movie? And this is all before Troma officially came on board. And I just, I didn't like bug him, but I was just like, well, would you make a video to support this thing that you're going to be in? And he was just like, yep. And then, like said, when he asked for the full script, it was just from then on, it was, well, would you want Trump? Would you be interested in Troma acquiring the movie and coming on executive producers and releasing it? This is what we can offer. This is what we can do. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, this is great.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I thought it was cool, man. Yeah, I love the movie, man. Oh man, dude. Let me think. What else do I got, man? Oh man, there's so much good stuff about the movie that I really, really loved, man.
That's the most ringing endorsement is just to tell people the good time that you had. I do think this is going to be one of those movies where not to blow it too hard or, set a bar too high. I do think this could be a midnight movie that people get some corn, sit down, and point out things like a Rocky Horror, like throwing the toast, or like the Room. I don't think it's a bad movie. I mean, I think there's some not great things in it just because of the budget, but I do think this could end up being like a big communal experience with a bunch of friends and watching this just like roller coaster. Because I think the movie is a pretty fast paced movie too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's like not like mean spirited or anything like that.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
like
not cynical.
and I mean, there's some gore, but it's not like bad gore. Like it's fun gore,
Yeah,
I
it's fun
guess.
gore.
You know,
Ricky Glore with the fun gore.
I mean, I remember like when I watched that first shit, I was like, oh my gosh, like dang, and it's and I'm like, oh my goodness, and then it's like, oh man, like right on, like it's like.
We did that right off the bat because that was my way of being like, all right, let's open it looking and feeling like this is going to be like a hostile movie or this is going to be like a real gross fucking movie. But that at the beginning and then at the end during the Demon Scar music video are the only times that you really see an exceptional amount of kind of like gross out gore. And the only other real gross out kind of moment is the giant turd once we get back to 1978. And that is just purely for metaphor purposes of my favorite one of my favorite sayings is king shit of turd mountain, which is Bobby's story. Like he ends up becoming king shit of turd mountain.
Yeah, oh man, and I was like, I didn't even with the beard and everything. I didn't even know that was you, man. I was like, oh man, what is this? And even with the sideburns, I was like, I still don't know it's you because I mean, you look so different like
And
throughout the
curly, yeah,
movie,
curly hair, yeah, the curly haired wig that's sewn in. That was my version of the Darth Vader helmet in Empire Strikes Back, where you see Darth Vader from behind and the helmet gets lowered onto his old white head. That was my version of that, of like Bobby. Laddie deconstructs Bobby so much he's no longer a human being. He is just a product and a puppet. That when they put the hat on with the sewn in fro, like curly haired wig, just each time Bobby shakes the hand of the devil with Laddie, he has less and less of his individualism.
Oh man, and the line, I love the line. Like, what was it? The Kenny Rogers of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah,
And
Kenny Rogers, Michael McDonald meets McDonald's, the Burger
oh,
King meets the King, Elvis Presley.
oh yeah, Crown comes out.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. Just had it ready. Had this whole speech prepared because I think Letty is incredibly Machiavellian. I also love, this will be the last thing I say before I got to pop out of here, but I'm getting ready to blow my own joke. I love that the familial connection that Nick, the dad, Andrew Gordon plays Nick, Laddie and her brother Jerry have of hiding things and then revealing them, of almost this like planned thing. So Nick does it at the beginning with when he's like, "Yeah, I've already packed my bags and I've got the contract or whatever." And so he pulls that out. And Bobby's like, and the booze, he's like, "Where are you getting that from?" Laddie does the same thing with the crown. Like, did she already have all this planned? And then Jerry does it at the end just to show it is this weird familial connection. At the end, same cabinet pulls out a full on guitar for Bobby to play. Dumb little
Oh,
jokes like that. I love having dumb little callbacks and connectivity things.
all right, man. Well, dude, I'm definitely gonna be at one of those hands across Tramerica things. I'm definitely gonna be at one, man. I don't know which
Awesome.
one, but I'm gonna be at one, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, dude.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for watching. Like I said,
Sweet
anybody
meat.
watching it is a big boon and a win to me.
I mean, Sweet Meats. I think it's great. It's fantastic. 2 thumbs up. 10 stars. A+.
You put
You
up your
know.
hand for 10 stars and like you're clearly missing like a couple digits.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
10
10
stars.
stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, man. All right, man.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Peace.